All right, so I'm going to pull up here the St. Louis Ambush internship. Um, what I did from about roughly first event was on Black Friday, and it went till about March. But so here, let me share my screen and get this presentation started without any further ado. All right, cool. And I hit share. All right, I'm screen sharing. Okay, cool. Now I have to, there we go, that went away. Slideshow from the beginning. All right, St. Louis Ambush by Mason Clynes. Got the hat, the polo, the credentials, everything that I wore on the job. All right, here we go. So overview of the organization. So it was really good for my first ever internship. I was a little nervous at first, but um, they definitely like gave me the skill set I needed from day one when that was going around the community with Jack Muse and go around to the various businesses and really like doing a lot of like community and fan engagement from like day one. And so they definitely like put like gave us a little bit at a time and just really like grew from there in terms of the first day of Jack going around in the community and then going like like setting up our first game day. Like we had no idea what to expect and really how to handle all the people that we would interact with, how to organize the merch stand. Those were some of the obstacles that we had to overcome, but we eventually did it, and you know, we we persevered, and it was all good from that perspective. So my roles and duties. So my roles and duties were very simple. As an intern for the St. Louis Ambush, I would show up on game days and I go into the office once or twice a week. The office duties were basically we would count these little squishy soccer balls and we would put them back into like plastic bags. And those are like a promo, our in-game promo that we had going on. So we had to rebag all those squishy balls and, make sure that, they're ready for the next game. The other duties that we had in the office, whether it was like, taking mail out to like the out to like the mailbox or like out to like, various like locations, various houses, make sure people got their tickets. It was pretty simple. He definitely our supervisor, he definitely like really eased us like into like the our specific roles and specific duties. And so it really was a good step in the right direction. And I'm thankful for that he was able to be very supportive and was always there if we had any questions. And really from like day one, it was just like he just really like made sure that it was very smooth first internship for us. But and then so for my roles and duties outside the office at game day, it was more or less I was working the merch stand, and so we had to set up the merch stand. We had to break down the merch stand. It sounds simple, but it's not. We had to make sure all the sizes were organized for every single clothing apparel that we sold, whether it's t-shirts, sweatshirts, various, like cups, mugs, hats like this one. Um, we had to make sure everything was like organized under whether it's like underneath the table, behind the table, like next to us. Because like when people like we had a line of people that were wanting clothes or wanting stuff that we had out, we had to make sure it was very quick and efficient. And like on the first game, it was not. So we learned the hard way. Um, but and then so like yeah, so we set it up, put the stuff out, make sure it's organized, tear it down, um, and then after that we're good to go. But those were the roles and duties in the office and outside the office during the game day. Did I establish goals for the internship? Yes, a few goals that I had were just to really get better, or you could say improve upon really just like customer relation skills. I learned that I'm very good with face-to-face customer relation skills. Um, and so I feel like a goal that I had was just to improve upon that. I didn't really like specifically know how until like we started, working during the games. So did you achieve your goals and how? Yes, I feel like I did achieve my goals, and how is basically just by speaking to people. It was, if someone needed help with a shirt size, it was, making sure that we could like tell them like if we didn't have the shirt size, direct them to the website, and tell them that if you go to the website, it's open 24/7. This merch stand may close at this time, like tonight, but the website's open 24/7. That was the most common thing that I got asked at the merch stand. What did you learn? I learned a lot. I learned my strengths and weaknesses when it comes to like dealing with people, dealing with customers. What I need to improve upon, like what I was already naturally good at. But it was really good in terms of like we had supervisors at the merch stand during the game, so they could help us with any questions. I feel like that was really huge, especially when we were busy. And like, Jack or I didn't know an answer to a question, we just direct them to our supervisor who was there, and we learned from them. What are some of the biggest takeaways from your internship? Some of the biggest takeaways were essentially, um, it's a really good question, but if I would narrow it down to a few takeaways in particular, it was, I guess, knowing the fact that I don't know that like talking to people and dealing with people like isn't really all that difficult as it may sound. Like you go to all like if you have like a bad experience somewhere, you're gonna remember it, but like if you have a good experience, like then you're gonna remember it as well. So we really tried to treat our customers or treat like people who came to the merch stand like just with respect. And like I don't know, like it was a like a big takeaway would be like making sure that you're organized, like time management skills, showing up on time, like asking important questions, like that's maybe also I think the biggest takeaway that I can think of would be making sure like you connected well with like the people who you worked with, whether like if it was other interns or people who actually like worked for Ambush in the front office, the CEO Shelly, um, just making sure like you're just always on her good side. And but yeah, I think connecting, networking within the office, like asking them like like they've been in the industry for a year or two or longer, asking them questions in terms like that. So I think those were a few of the big takeaways that I had from the internship itself. What growth have you personally had in your sport management career? A few growth, things that come to my mind when I think of my sport management career. I feel like the ambush, it was a good step, and like it was easy at first, because it was kind of simple. But I feel like ambush definitely like if I wouldn't have done it, I would have just gone straight to my current internship right now. Um, I feel like I would not be as prepared. Ambush, it's like it's hands on, but it's like not hands on because it's not hands on because um, they just ease you through the internship. Um, and they like hold your hand every step of the way, which is great. So like for anybody who's listening to this, I think the ambush is it's not I would say it's the easiest, but like they help you along the way, like every step of the way, like they'll help you along the way. So that's why it's great. That's where the growth is because like if they just throw you out there and expect you to do it, then like you can't really grow if you're doing it on your own. So I feel like the biggest growth is that they guided me throughout this that like all to the very end. Like with the internship. I feel like they did a great job on that end. Really like showed me what I'm capable of doing. So that is where the biggest growth comes from in the end. So what would you tell your younger self? I'll just tell my younger self, just to stick with it. And even like if you think like you're shy or something or quiet, um, just stick to yourself and just good things will come. So that's a little bit of advice that I would give to my younger self would be just to stick with it. Um, and so, advice for incoming students: use Dr. Boleska as a source for networking and connecting. You have no idea how resourceful and how useful and how many connections Dr. Boleska has across the country. It's tremendous. Um, but yeah, so that's my biggest advice for incoming students. Advice for current sport management students, I guess just pass all your classes at the end of the day. Because if you pass your classes, then you can set yourself up for later in life. So it's all about focusing on the now to really set your future up to be successful. So wherever that will take you. Advice about the sport management and course. Do all your homework. That's I just said earlier, but it's important to do all your homework. Like even though like it may seem like easy, like just get it done. Like get it done on time. Like don't screw yourself over with like like a missing assignment and having it be a zero, and then you lose a letter grade, an A or B. But just make sure you get all your homework done. Conclusion: would be I'm happy and grateful that I had the internship with the St. Louis Ambush. I feel like I would not have the confidence to speak to people, whether through the phone, whether face to face, if it were not for them. So if you're going into sales, I'd highly recommend going like with the Ambush, um, because you're in a pro atmosphere, and they help guide you along the way, and they really like develop you as a person, as an individual, and really have great supervisors and just great workers in general in the office to really just bring out your better self, and yeah, so that's it for the conclusion. So with that being said, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And now that is it. So let me go back. Let me turn off my screen share. So my screen share is paused. All right. How do I go back? Share. Oh man, I don't even have like this is bad. How do I get out of Zoom? Okay. Go to here.